Isabel was a woman marked by life. At 35, she carried the scars of an existence full of hardships. Raised in an abusive home, she spent her youth fighting to stay on her feet, always searching for something that would give her life meaning. She worked as a nurse in a rundown hospital, dedicating herself to others while silently dealing with her own loneliness. That night, Isabel was returning home after yet another exhausting shift. The streets were deserted, and the only company she had was the distant sound of cars. As she approached the building where she lived, a police car appeared, blocking her path. Before she could understand what was happening, two officers quickly got out and handcuffed her without explanation. Confused and terrified, Isabel was forced into the car, which sped through the dark streets of the city. She tried to ask why she was being detained, but the officers remained silent, their faces expressionless. As the car moved further away from the city, her fear grew. Suddenly, a piercing sound cut through the air, as if the sky itself were splitting in two. A blinding light appeared on the horizon, illuminating everything around. The car began to shake violently, and before Isabel could process what was happening, she was pulled out of the vehicle by an invisible force. When she regained consciousness, Isabel found herself lying on a smooth, cold surface in a completely unfamiliar environment. The walls around her were made of a material she had never seen before, glowing with a faint metallic sheen. The air had a sweet, intoxicating scent, different from anything she knew. Isabel tried to get up, but was interrupted by three figures approaching her. They were men, but clearly not human. Their appearances were stunning and at the same time otherworldly. Each of them had vibrant colored skin, deep blue, emerald green, and radiant gold. Their bodies were tall and muscular, sculpted to perfection, and their eyes shone like stars. They approached her with expressions that mixed curiosity and desire. Paralyzed by fear and fascination, Isabel tried to back away, but her legs wouldn't obey her. One of them, the one with golden skin, leaned down and, with a deep voice that resonated inside her mind, spoke, "You have been chosen." She felt a wave of panic wash over her. Chosen for what? She wanted to scream, but the words wouldn't come out. The one who had spoken seemed to pick up on her thoughts and continued, "Your species is unique to us. We need you to continue our lineage." Isabel felt a mix of terror and disbelief. The idea of being used as a tool for procreation by these alien beings was simply horrifying. She tried to move, but her mind was clouded, as if controlled by some external force. The three aliens circled her, each one observing her with an intensity Isabel had never experienced before. There was something about them that was both overwhelming and alluring, as if they were living perfections, but also predators on the prowl. She could feel the heat of their gazes, but at the same time, part of her refused to give in to fear. Suddenly, the green-skinned alien, who seemed more introspective, stepped forward. He reached out to Isabel, and when his fingers touched her skin, she felt a wave of emotions that took her breath away. He wasn't just trying to calm her, there was something deeper in that connection. "There's no need to be afraid," he transmitted, the softness of his mental voice surprising her. "I promise I won't let anything harm you." The other two exchanged glances, clearly surprised by their companion's intervention. There was a palpable tension in the air, but the green alien seemed determined. Isabel realized that, at that moment, there was a small spark of hope. As the suspense grew, the other two began to hesitate. The golden-skinned alien took a step back, looking uncertain. The blue one, who had an aura of authority, seemed to evaluate Isabel in a different way, perhaps reconsidering his intentions. "She is not just an object for our mission," the green alien continued, now in a challenging tone. "She is a life that deserves to be respected." Isabel felt tears welling up in her eyes, but not from fear. For the first time in a long while, someone or something was trying to protect her, even in such a desperate situation. She didn't know if she could fully trust this being, but something in his eyes, deep and almost human, told her he was telling the truth. Without further hesitation, the green alien took Isabel's hand and gently pulled her, guiding her out of the room. The other two watched, unsure of how to react. The tension was still in the air, but there was no resistance. They ran through corridors that seemed endless, with lights flashing and alarm sounds echoing in the distance. The alien led her through a series of doors and passageways until they reached a small compartment that seemed to contain some sort of portal. "This portal will take you back to Earth," he transmitted, his eyes shining with a mix of sadness and determination. "But you need to go now, before they change their minds." Isabella looked at him, seeing the pain in his gaze. She didn't want to leave him, despite everything that had happened. He had saved her, and now he was offering freedom, even if it meant losing something important to him. I don't want to leave you," Isabel finally managed to say, her voice trembling. The green alien smiled softly, a sad smile. "I know, but you need to return to your world. I'll make sure you're safe." With one last look, full of emotions, Isabel stepped into the portal. A blinding light enveloped her, and in the blink of an eye, she found herself back in her apartment, lying on the living room floor. Everything seemed normal, as if nothing had happened, but her heart was different. Isabel slowly stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the night sky was clear, but she knew that somewhere far away, the alien who had saved her was looking up at the same sky. He had chosen to protect her, even if it meant losing what he wanted. And now Isabel knew her life would never be the same. Thank you for watching until the end. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel, share and like for more stories like this.